One day, Hitler decided to test out the skills of several prisoners in Treblinka. As the first test, he had his soldiers bring him out the 3 prisoners, then line them up before him. "How high can you jump?" he asks the first one. "About 1 meter," answers the prisoner. Hitler nodded before turning to his soldier. "Take this one back to work, but give him 1 kilogram of rye bread." After the soldier did as he was told, Hitler stood before the second prisoner. "How high can you jump?" he asks again. After a moment of thinking, the prisoner says, 2 meters if I really try." Hitler nodded before turning to his soldier again. "Take this one back to work too, but give him 2 kilograms of rye bread." Observing this, the third prisoner did the maths and hatched a plan. Finally, Hitler stood face to face with him. "How high can you jump?" he asked him at last prisoner. "My most illustrious Führer, I can jump 5 meters, said the prisoner as a smug grin bloomed on his face. Hitler frowned before turning to his soldier. "Tell me, Walter, how tall are the walls around the camp?" 3 meters, my Führer, cried the soldier. Hitler nodded again before turning to the last prisoner. "In that case, shoot this one. He may become a problem in the future."
An 80-year-old man was having his annual checkup when the doctor asked how he was feeling. "I've never been better," he boasted. "I've got an 18-year-old bride who's pregnant and having my child. What do you think about that?" The doctor considered this for a moment, then said, "Let me tell you a story. I knew a guy who was an avid hunter. He never missed a season. But one day he went out in a bit of a hurry and accidentally grabbed his umbrella instead of his gun." The doctor continued, "So he was in the woods, and suddenly a grizzly bear appeared in front of him. He raised up his umbrella, pointed it at the bear, and squeezed the handle." "And do you know what happened?" the doctor queried. Dumbfounded, the old man replied, "No, what?" The doctor continued, "The bear dropped dead in front of him." "That's impossible," exclaimed the old man. "Someone else must have shot the bear." "That's kind of what I'm getting at," replied the doctor.
A young boy walks into an ice cream parlor and asks for 12 scoops of ice cream. In disbelief, the cashier asked him to repeat his order. "I want 12 scoops of ice cream, sir." Not passing this huge order up, the cashier went to work making sure the scoops were evenly balanced and could not tip over. But before handing it over to him, he asked the boy a question. "Why did you want so many scoops of ice cream?" "Well, if you had what I had, you would order the exact same thing." The cashier hands him the cone, but he's a little confused and asked another question. "And what is it that you have that I don't?" The boy looked him in the eyes with a smirk on his face and said, "Only $2 and change." And he ran out of parlor.
2 friends are walking their dogs together. One has a big black lab, while the other has a minuscule chihuahua. They pass a bar and the lab owner says, "Let's get a beer." The chihuahua walker complains, "That would be great, but we can't take our dogs in there." The first responds, "Watch me." The lab owner strolls in with her dog and orders a beer. The bartender tells her, "Sorry, you can't bring your dog in here." "He's my seeing eye dog," the woman replies, feigning offense. The bartender quickly apologizes and serves her the beer. The other woman follows, her chihuahua in tow, and orders a beer as well. Again, the bartender says there are no dogs allowed in the bar. "He's my seeing eye dog," the woman replies. "Yeah, right," the bartender says, "a chihuahua. Give me a break." Without missing a beat, the woman replies, "They gave me a chihuahua."
Jacob, age 92, and Rebecca, age 89, living in Devon, are all excited about their decision to get married. They go for a stroll to discuss the wedding, and on the way, they pass a pharmacy. Jacob suggests they go in. Jacob addresses the man behind the counter. "Are you the owner?" The pharmacist answers, "Yes." "Jacob, we're about to get married. Do you sell heart medication?" Pharmacist, "Of course we do." Jacob, "Medicine for rheumatism?" Pharmacist, "Definitely." Jacob, "Medicine for memory problems?" arthritis and Alzheimer's? Pharmacist. Yes, a large variety. The works. Jacob. What about vitamins, sleeping pills, geritol, antidotes for Parkinson's disease? Pharmacist. Absolutely. Jacob. Everything for heartburn and indigestion? Pharmacist. We sure do. Jacob. You sell wheelchairs and walkers and canes? Pharmacist. All speeds and sizes. Jacob. In that case, we'd like to use this store for our wedding presents list.
One day an Irishman called Seamus went into a pharmacy in Clonmel. He reached into his jacket pocket and took out a bottle of Irish whiskey and a teaspoon. Seamus proceeded to pour some of the amber liquid into the teaspoon and offered it to the chemist. Could you taste this for me, please? Asked Seamus. The chemist took the teaspoon, put it into his mouth, swillied the liquid around and swallowed it. Does that taste sweet to you? Says Seamus. No, not at all, says the pharmacist. Oh, that's a relief, says Seamus. Dr. Flanagan told me to come here and get my urine tested for sugar.
A somewhat advanced society has figured out how to package basic knowledge in pill form. A student, needing some learning, goes to the pharmacy and asks what kind of knowledge pills are available. The pharmacist says, "Here's a pill for English literature." The student takes the pill and swallows it, and has new knowledge about English literature. "What else do you have?" asks the student. "Well, I have pills for art history, biology, and world history," replies the pharmacist. The student asks for these, swallows them, and has new knowledge about those subjects. Then the student asks, "Do you have a pill for math?" The pharmacist says, "Wait just a moment," and goes back into the storeroom and brings back a whopper of a pill and plunks it on the counter. "I have to take that huge pill for math?" inquires the student. The pharmacist replied, "Well, you know, math always was a little hard to swallow."
A math teacher welcomed a new French exchange student into her class and then started teaching a lesson on fractions. The French exchange student raised his hand and said, "Excuse me, madam, but I don't know how to say fractions." "How do you say those?" "Easy," said the teacher, "you just say the top number and then the bottom number is read as an ordinal number. For example, 2/3 is 2/3, 3/4 is 3/4, and 2/5 is 2/5. "Thanks, I understand," said the exchange student. "Good," said the teacher, and then asked the French student, "So how do you say 4/8? "Should I reduce?" asked the boy. "That would be best," said the teacher. "1 second," said the boy. "Take as long as you need," said the teacher.
A nice, calm, and respectable lady went into the pharmacy, right up to the pharmacist, looked straight into his eyes and said, "I would like to buy some cyanide." The pharmacist asked, "Why in the world do you need cyanide?" The lady replied, "I need it to poison my husband." The pharmacist's eyes got big and he exclaimed, "I can't give you cyanide to kill your husband. That's against the law. I'll lose my license. They'll throw both of us in jail. All kinds of bad things will happen. Absolutely not. You cannot have any cyanide." The lady reached into her purse and pulled out a picture of her husband in bed with the pharmacist's wife. The pharmacist looked at the picture and replied, "Well now, that's different. You didn't tell me you had a prescription."
A former sergeant in the Marine Corps took a new job as a high school teacher. Just before the school year started, he injured his back. He was required to wear a plaster cast around the upper part of his body. Fortunately, the cast fit under his shirt and wasn't noticeable. On the first day of class, he found himself assigned to the toughest students in the school. The smart punks, having already heard the new teacher was a former Marine, were leery of him and he knew they would be testing his discipline in the classroom. Walking confidently into the rowdy classroom, the new teacher opened the window wide and sat down at his desk. When a strong breeze made his tie flap, he picked up a stapler and stapled the tie to his chest. There was dead silence. The rest of the year went quite smoothly. Hey there, I put a lot effort into making these videos, so please subscribe for more jokes and stay happy, thank you.